Okay, I thought about this very carefully compared to week 1 of Spring Breakin, which pissed my ass off because you had Ilya Dragunov, you had Trick Willie. They had their moment, and commercials were in it. Instead of doing commercial free, they destroyed Spring Breakin night 1 or week 1. They just pissed me off. I was done. I was that angry. I was happy that Trick William won. I was glad Ilya Dragunov had such a good match with him that he gave Trick a gift, putting him over. But this is how I felt. And then we get week 2. Not much different when it comes to commercials and ads. Pretty much the same thing, which was a waste. You're supposed to make this be special, particularly after, well, just before Backlash. You would think they do a little bit, but they're still doing the same thing. It's pretty sad, particularly that the draft just happened. You just lost Laura Valkyria. You just lost Ilya Dragunov. You just lost who was Davenport. They're now on the main roster. The week before that, that was who else was going on there? You lost 2 more people. I believe Dijak had just gone to Raw as well, along with a couple of other more people. They just lost a good chunk of their people. You would think they would try to set this up to look really good with the people they got left and not do what they did like they did with the OC and the new guys. I would have liked them not to go there, but they did. But taking away from that was the show good. Yeah, it did clean up a lot of stuff that needed to be done. It started other stuff. Let's start with the Trick Willie opening. Let's make this clear. One of the most over people there is Trick Williams now. He is the most over person there, next to Tony D'Angelo, which he has his own way of going, but Trick Willie's here. Tony D is like about here, and several other people under them. So this is what we got. This is how the structure is now done, because Ilya Dragunov is gone, Carmelo Hayes is gone, Laura Valkyria is gone. It's all the people that was important in NXT now have moved on to the main roster. Dijak is gone. He's gone to Raw, I believe. So it's counting whoever else has moved on or whoever else has been released. Because there's still a possibility that people are still going to be released. We got like 7 people so far released. That I'm sure there's going to be even more going to happen. I say maybe 20 or 30 people could be released. That's just me. It could be no more than what we got, 7 or 8. But I do believe it's going to be more than that because they got nothing to do with. They got nothing for them to do. But Trick Willie sounded very good. But then it was very awkward with Lash Legend. But what made the segment really good was just the banter between them. Let's not get it twisted. The Whoop That Trick era is now happened. But then when you see Lash Legends, and they were talking about, let's put this in perspective. What they just did, Lash Legend and Trick Williams, I see on the streets of New York more than a few times a day. When someone is basically doing a little bit of chatting up a nice lady. That's not something I haven't seen. But I'm not saying that it wasn't funny to watch. And then seeing that the crowd was trying to get into it. And why did she say... Let me get it you like this. Saying that she wants his Mr. Peanut Butter Cup, Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. But she likes a Kit Kat. That just... maybe she should be the Kit Kat. No, I'm sorry. Maybe she should be the peanut butter cup and that he the Kit Kat. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be nasty, but that's the way it is. He's saying that she wants to send up his peanut butter cup, and she says, "No, boo, I like my Kit Kats." I'm just saying that you know what I mean. And that was a very funny banter between them. It's something you could see on any street in most cities in the United States. Because pretty much what they just did, they do this in New York, they'll do this in California, they'll do this in Chicago. There's always some type of banter like that. So it actually felt very organic. That's the reason why I'm bringing it up. But seeing that yellow envelope and she's saying that Trick, because he got where he is because of something, and you better get ready because you're going to lose your mess. I don't know what it is. Could it be because he and Carmelo Hayes set this up, or we got something else set up. I don't know if that would work. To be honest, I wish they wouldn't go there. And now they're gonna do these supernova sessions next week, and we're gonna hear the reason for this. I don't know. I don't know if this is going to really work very well. This is not feeling right. This feels like this is something that was interjected, and I don't think this is from HBK. It feels like it was interjected out of nowhere. Like they're trying to accelerate Trick Williams into being a much more substantial star than he's ready for. That's what this feels like. And I don't know if it's going to go well, but this is just me. First match. Let's make this very clear. Uma Femi versus Ibar was a good match. But you know what? I'm going to wait. Forget this one. I'm not going to do this now because you can see from the title who was there and probably from the picture of who was there. So I'm going to leave this. I'm sorry. Thea Hale versus JC James. That's what I'm going to talk about. With Fallon there and a Jasmine there as well, along with the rest of Chase U. Let me give it to you like this. This needed to happen. I kind of wish this had happened at Stand and Deliver when it came to them instead of the 6-woman tag. I just believe it was dumb. This should have been about JC James and about Thea Hale. But they did it here at Spring Breakin. And finally, after the match was over, Thea won, and pretty much Fallon Henley had taken a bullet for her. It was like, okay, they're going to finally do it with Fallon. It was obvious she was going to turn heel. And instead of what you think, she basically decks Thea Hale. And this is what had to happen. You would think she's going to join JC James, who was bleeding from the nose, I believe, at one point. I don't know how she hurt her nose. I don't know what happened. But essentially, you see that this is coming. And you see that you would think she would stand with them, but it's not the wisest thing to do. Because they have to set it up that she's going to probably join JC James and Jasmine. That's the way it looks like it's going to happen. But it may not come immediately. I do believe it will come much later, or at least you'll talk with her about it. But it had to happen. This needed to be done, and it's now been done. Now, the OC, as I said, with the new guys, I didn't say this with the new guys. Did I say this? I don't think so. I don't remember the guys. The one that was a shot putter who's from Haiti. The other guy who looks like he's American. And he's a nerd. And they did the segment. Let me give it like this. Was this necessary for the OC to destroy them? No. They could have done with any other jobbers. But they decided they want to introduce them like they did with Uma Femi. Uma Femi had the same situation. He was destroyed. Well, not destroyed, but he did win his match. But here they were destroyed by the OC. I don't think it was necessary to destroy them, but this is what you get. Shawn Spears versus Ridge Holland. And here's the thing. I'm not feeling this. I do not know where they're going. What is the deal with Ridge Holland? Is he going to turn to the dark side or not? And I'm confused. I really don't know where they're going with him. It looks like they are going to turn him heel. They are going to make him dark. But it feels like he should have lost his match instead of won it. He should have descended even to more darkness. Or he should be a lot more aggressive and angry. He shouldn't have talked to Andre Chase, who was still trying to console Thea after getting decked by Fallon Henley. It made no sense. And I'm sure people would say, well, you got to wait and see. Well, we have waited and seen. This is what you don't get. We've been seeing what's been going on with Ridge Holland for months. Now they interjected a Shawn Spears into it. Now that helped. But if Shawn Spears cannot win against Ridge Holland, or worse yet, Ridge Holland, who is winning, should not be showing less aggression and being more friendly, show more aggression. And he should be doing that. He's not. So it's very confusing right now. Are they really going to pull the trigger or not? I do believe they will, but it's like they're making it jump through hoops, a story. They're jumping it through hoops constantly, trying to make him still look like a good guy, when to be honest, he should have already turned heel. This is just me. It shouldn't be about now, at this point, when you finished WrestleMania, you finished already the draft, he should turn heel now. and they're not doing it. So, you guys tell me below. Tag match. AOP versus tag champs of, well, it was a chance for the tag champs of Axiom and Nathan Frazier because it was a good match. But the only way they won was because the New Catch Republic saved their asses. That's the only reason they won. And since we're getting Final Testament on Raw, I actually got it confused. I thought they were going to SmackDown because they used to be on SmackDown. Now, are they going to SmackDown? Are they going to? Yeah, I think they're going to SmackDown. No, the Pride's going to SmackDown. The Final Testament's going to Raw. But I still think Karrion Kross should be separated from them, and AOP should be with Paul Ellering alone. But this is the way it looks. And since they now lost on NXT and they're going over to Raw, it feels why? They didn't move. The only ones that did was the Pride. And I feel like this entire situation feels so incredibly disjointed. You put the Pride and you put that Final Testament together when they should have worked on their own. They should not work together when they both need to get over. They didn't. They fought each other constantly until WrestleMania. Now you finally decide to break them up afterwards, and I feel like the person that should be separated permanently from them is Karrion Kross. He should be released from this company, or he should try again to be himself on NXT. That's what he should be. He should not be on the main rosters. He should be in NXT with Scarlett and rebuild himself. But this is what we got. Nothing has changed. I'm just saying. What do I want to say about Gigi Golan with Ariana Grace? The opening of the show, having them announce what's about to be shown was good. Now, seeing that Ava came to the ring and made it very clear that the North American Women's Championship will be fought for in Battleground in a ladder match. I don't know if that's good. I don't agree with that decision. I would have liked to see a tournament for the Women's North American Championship instead of just a ladder match like they did for the men. This is where gender equality doesn't work. Because sometimes you need to do something different. It could be a tournament. It could be a gauntlet. It doesn't need to be an exact carbon copy of what happened with the other sex. Look, I'm not saying the Women's Battle Royal is bad. Women's Royal Rumble, no problem. Women's Battle Royals, no problem. Women's ladder matches, no problem. But if you're doing it because of the championship that you're trying to present the same way as the men, it doesn't need to be. You want to make the women be differentiated from the men. I'd rather see a gauntlet match or at least a tournament for the women. Hell, why not do a Alundra Blaze tournament? She was on Raw. She presented. Why not do an Alundra Blaze tournament to honor the woman? Or a Medusa tournament to honor Medusa? Why not do something to honor someone? To make it mean something special. A Medusa or a Alundra Blaze tournament to see who is the next North American Women's Championship. How come I can do this but they don't? I'm just saying. Alright. I'm going to say this. When it came to Ibar versus Umafemi, I had no problem with the match. It was good to see that Ibar worked pretty well with Umafemi, who is still quite green. I got no problem with it. And I was fine seeing that Umafemi retained. But what made me happy was my boy. Wesley's back. That's my boy. That's Desmond Xavier. That's my boy. Dez is back after 5 or 6 months away. I think it was 5, some or 5. I don't know how many months he's been gone. Because of his back surgery, he needed to get work done because he couldn't even feel his legs. He was in constant pain. I am glad that he's back, but I'm hoping he's healthy. As much as I want him back. I'll make this very clear to anyone. I know there are fans that say, I want this person back. I want Big E back. I want Big E Langston back with New Day. I want him going around and wrestling again. But do you want to risk his life? And you're going to say no, then I don't need him back. Let him do something else. He could do commentary work. Let him start learning how to do commentary work. Let him work alongside Booker T on commentary. Or let him do it on SmackDown. Let him start learning how to be a commentator. Or let him be a presenter. I don't care. Put him on TV in another form or fashion. I am not willing to risk this man's health just so I can have a little thrill of him being in the ring for 5 to 10 or 20 minutes. No. Fuck that. That's not me. So, as long as Wes is healthy and he'll be alright, I'm glad to see him back. But if he's not healthy properly and he's still messed up, why the hell did he come back? I don't want that boy hurt. I don't give a fuck how much I love how he works in the ring. I care more about him living and having a good life when he gets older than seeing him in the damn ring. That's just me. But seeing him back, talking to Ibar, talking to Briggs, and Briggs pretty much says, get to the back of the line. He says, no, I'm going to see if I can get my title back. But it's not like I'm jumping you. But if you want to try and do something, let's get in the ring. So next week we'll probably get him. And Ibar made it very clear, I'm not done with Umafebi. That means you're going to see Wesley go through Ibar, and he's going to go through Wesley. There you go. Last thing we got a chance to... We get Roxanne, Ava, and Chelsea Green. Now she's supposedly working on NXT now. With a big bow over her titties. Oh. Let me give it to you like this. Am I going to be upset that she's there, at least for that match? No. But is she going to be working down there? I don't know. And to be honest, I wish she would change her character because I think she needs a change. That's just me. Final thing I'm going to talk about will be the Women's Underground match. Look, let's make this clear. A Women's Underground match, no better than the Men's Underground match. Unless they really try to hurt each other in a way that looks real, it looks very fake. Now, when it came to Dijak dealing with a Eddie, let me get to you like this. Eddie Thorpe and Dijak looked very good. Didn't look crappy. When it came to Natalya dealing with Lola, was too gentle. The one that was being the most aggressive was Natty. And I thought, this makes great sense. Natty wins this. She could be the inaugural Women's North American Champion. And I actually would promote that. Give someone who has a very prestigious past, like Natalya Neidhart. Let her start going through different matches and winning, and then moving on to doing the ladder match and winning the North American Championship. It wouldn't be that bad to see her on NXT with that damn title. But then you saw the match, which wasn't bad, and you see Natalya pounding the fuck out of a Lola Vice. And you think she's going to win, and she should win. But with Shayna Baszler choking out Petrovic, then getting nailed by Natalya, getting a back fist to Natalya from Lola, and she loses, kind of defeats the purpose of making Natty, who looks dominant, who is being constantly touted as the GOAT, the best of all time, instead of the GOAT, the greatest of all time. And to be honest, she's earned that title of the GOAT. I got no problem with it. As much as you want to say Natalya's not one of the greatest wrestlers, she's one of the most consistent, well-rounded wrestlers. Yes, she doesn't always talk well. Yes, she's gone through some stupid gimmicks like the fart gimmick, which pissed my ass off. It made no sense. I did not like it. But I will appreciate what she's done. She's worked hard to get where she is. Hell, she's got a Guinness Book of World Record of being one of the few people to wrestle the most on nationwide and international TV from a wrestling promotion, WWE. So she's earned it. But seeing this, I'm like, wouldn't it have been better to let her win and let her get into the combine and then get into the ladder match? She still can. But I would have thought they'd give her at least a little momentum here. Now you're going to say, dude, maybe that's the reason why. They don't want to give her momentum. They want to make it do it. Wait for the process. Let's wait and see. Of course I'm going to wait and see. I'm just saying that as it stands, it still feels like it could have been done better. Not saying it shouldn't have been done. You want to build Natalya differently? Let her lose a little bit, but then build up into a win? Fine. Let her get into the battleground match if they're going to do it with her. Let her be a part of the ladder match. Let her win the damn North American title. Let someone who has seniority and has a good name win the damn thing instead of someone new. I think that would be the wisest thing to do. This is just me. Now, I'm not saying it's great, but that makes the